All right, guys, welcome back to Keeping It 100. Today we're going to be talking about Kanye West. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're not aware, Kanye West is officially a billionaire. Um, Shout out to Kanye West because just a few years ago, about 3 years ago, Kanye West was roughly $53 million in debt. And, you know, he's gone from being $53 million in debt to having a net worth of $3.3 billion. Before I get into how he did it, I just want to point out the fact that if you guys are not familiar, Kanye West is a Gemini. I'm also a Gemini, and Geminis have you know, a natural ability to be creative. Um, but let's start. Let's get into how he made this money, guys. Number one, obviously, he's started off as a producer, um, and he worked for the Rock Nation, and he worked for Dame Dash, et cetera, et cetera. And he worked as a producer, and he worked his way up from being just a producer to actually being a rapper. And he actually, obviously, was very successful as a rapper as well as a producer. When you put the combination of creating the music and creating the lyrics, that's why so many of his songs were hits, if you will. Music alone, his net worth, his catalog is worth over roughly $90 million just his catalog alone. But one thing that you guys may or may not know about Kanye West is that when he was a kid, he's always been into designing different things, clothing lines, shoes, et cetera, et cetera. So as he started to make money, obviously, with music, he started to pursue his other passion, which is fashion. And I got to give him a lot of credit because, a lot of rappers, the money they make from rap, they just go and buy fancy cars and stupid jewelry that costs, it's worthless, and et cetera, et cetera. They blow their money on dumb stuff. But Kanye West, I got to give him a lot of credit because he strayed away from that, and instead of blowing his money on dumb things, he started investing in himself and creating his brand. So obviously, the cash cow for Kanye West is the Yeezy shoes. Originally, when he started off with the Yeezys, it was under the umbrella of Nike, which, once again, that's a very smart thing to do. So many other rappers, entertainers have tried to make shoes, create a shoe line. And what they'll do is they'll come out with, I think, like, for example, Master P made some No Limit shoes back in the day. 50 Cent made some G Unit shoes, and the list goes on. But the big difference between what Kanye West did opposed to what everyone else did, instead of trying to create a brand, so to speak, he partnered up with other extremely successful shoe companies. First one was Nike, and that whole situation was, for him, it got his foot in the door. I don't know if that was his plan. It could have been his plan, but he was only getting a very small fraction of the sales as far as royalties. He didn't own the rights to the shoes. He didn't own the right to create the shoes. He just pretty much was just putting his name on it. And even with that, the shoes were selling like crazy because most importantly, they were under the umbrella of Nike. And that was the biggest mistake that other entertainers tried to do, start shoe companies and try to just go with their brand. And it's just not going to work. You can look at the whole LeVar Ball or Alonzo Ball thing where he tried to create his own shoe and it just didn't work. But moving forward, like I said, right now, his Yeezy brand. Well, before I get into the net worth of the Yeezy brand, what he did, he stayed with Nike for a period of time to build the brand, and then he canceled the contract with Nike. The shoes were selling like crazy. He canceled that contract with Nike, and he went over to Adidas. Adidas gave him a much more lucrative deal where he had ownership of the shoes. He had creative rights to the shoes. He could create and design the shoes, and he had all the rights to the shoes as well. All Adidas did is said we'll design the shoes, manufacture the shoes, and distribute the shoes. And both parties are making obviously a ton of money. So going forward, the Yeezys under Adidas, as of right now, has made Kanye West $1.3 billion. So that was the move that pretty much catapulted him into the billionaires club. But that's what you people, we got to understand. Sometimes you got to walk before you crawl before you walk, and then walk before you run. And that's pretty much what Kanye West has done. A lot of people give Kanye West a lot of flack, talk about you crazy, talk about this, talk about that. But at the end of the day, he's Gemini. Sometimes Gemini come off as a little crazy, but trust me, it's very creative, and it shows. And it shows. And not only that, but guys, he got into the clothing line as well, and was creating a lot of different clothes and stuff like that. So basically, clothing and fashion was the main thing that put a lot of money into his pocket. And the money that he was getting from that clothing line, he invested and reinvested. It says he has roughly over $17 million in cash. He has $35 million in stocks. He has $81 million in real estate. Has $21 million in land. And like I said earlier, his music catalog is $90 million. So he's estimated right now of being worth about $3.3 billion. And he's doing his thing, man. He's really doing his thing. And let me tell you guys something else. Like I said, a few years ago, Kanye West was $53 million in debt, and he said he went on television, said, Mark Zuckerberg, invest in me, give me some money. He literally said, he went to Mark Zuckerberg and said, invest in me, give me some money. I got the creative ways to make the money flip and triple, and et cetera, et cetera. And Mark Zuckerberg, believing that, guys, took him up on his offer. You know what I'm saying? Mark Zuckerberg gave him $1 billion to invest, and he invested it and tripled and quadrupled that money. A lot of people, man, you'll be surprised. So many people, if they just had money, man, they could really flip it like so many different ways. And that's pretty much what he did, man. And that's the other thing. I think that's another lesson that people can learn from Kanye West, man. Don't be afraid to ask somebody. You know what I'm saying? If he had too much pride and wasn't willing to ask Mark Zuckerberg, someone I think he's like the fourth richest person in the world. His net worth is, I can't even recall right now, but it is upwards of, I think, $80 billion or something in that neighborhood. And he invested in them, and they flipped it, and now everybody got paid. So guys, what you got to understand is that in order, if you want to be successful in life, do you need to have $3.3 billion to be successful in life? No, you don't. But man, at the end of the day, you got to hustle and do what you got to do to make yourself live a good life, man. Nobody want to live their entire life going paycheck to paycheck. And, this is just another way to motivate people, what I'm saying, that maybe thinking about branching out, doing their own thing, man. You got to do it, man. You can't just sit around and talk about it. You got to do it, man. And if Kanye West can do it, if Kanye West can go from $53 million in debt to $3.3 billion, anybody should be motivated than that. Because guess what? Even if you only got $5 in your pocket, you was in a better position than somebody that's $53 million in debt. All right. And then the last thing I want to point out before I end this video is with Kanye West, man. He's very wise. Well, I don't want to say wise, but it was a good financial move, if nothing else, for him to marry Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian net worth is roughly $900 million. And that's the thing. The other thing you got to understand, man. If you're looking to be successful in life and moving forward in life, if you're going to have your partner, especially talking about a wife, you want to have you a wife that's bringing something to the table too. You know what I'm saying? Not somebody that just trying to take, you know what I'm saying? You need somebody that's going to contribute as well if you want to be successful in life. There's a lot of people, celebrities and famous people that married vixens, and within a year or so they end up divorcing, or even if it wasn't vixen, just married somebody that wasn't bringing nothing to the table. And if they get divorced, you run the risk of losing half of everything you got You know what I'm saying? If you got somebody else that's a hustler, they're not gonna be looking to try to get what you got. They're gonna be looking to try to build with you, and I believe that's what they're doing. Even though it's questionable if Kim Kardashian and Kanye West are going to be together in the long haul. You know what I'm saying? I kind of doubt it, but at the end of the day, even if they do get divorced, you know, if her net worth is 900 million, okay, and his net worth is 3.3 billion, you know, then he not gonna get totally taken to the cleaners. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, all that being said, man, hopefully that's motivating to you guys. It's definitely motivating to me to continue working on becoming a millionaire. And yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and see you next video.